Hi, I'm Ed Brown, Chef Innovator of Lincoln Center Kitchen. Today we're making chicken pot pie, but with a little twist. What makes this pot pie unique or slightly different is that it's a concentration of flavor. So let's get started. Into my vessel here, I'm going to put my vegetables. I've got celery, just everything in big pieces. Nothing has to be diced or perfectly cut. Some carrots that were peeled, just cut in big pieces. An onion, again, peeled, big pieces. A couple of cloves of garlic, whole. And then my chicken, thighs, breast, a little bit of the leg meat and thigh. Just a little bit of white wine that's going to give us the acidity. Then I've got a really thick, rich chicken bouillon that we're going to just put enough to barely cover it. Some fresh thyme, just a pinch of salt in the beginning of the cooking, and that's going to go right to the fire. So this is going to come to a boil, and then we let it simmer until each of the ingredients is done, probably 35 minutes. We've strained off all the ingredients and reserved them on the side. Took all of that liquid from the cooking, put it back into a small pot, and reduced it to a glaze. I'm going to keep that glaze hot, and I'm going to add just a pinch of cream to it. Meanwhile, we have all these beautiful ingredients that are perfectly cooked. They're carrots and celery and onion, chicken. So on the chicken, on the leg and thigh meat, I'm just pulling it apart. And I really rather pull it apart with my hands than to cut it with a knife. It makes a much more pleasant bite in the mouth when we put this back together. You need to let it cool down to as cool as your hands will let you work with it. So it's actually easier to pull it apart when it's warm. You know, it can be room temperature is also fine. So the chicken gets pulled apart, the vegetables get diced up, and the beauty of cooking these vegetables whole and then cutting them up is to really have all of that original flavor to stay in the dish. We've brought together our sauce, still kind of thin, and I'm going to add back all of the ingredients to the sauce. I'm going to let that just cook together for a minute or two, let everything come together back as one. Okay, while we're waiting on that to come together, I'm going to prepare the tops. To prepare the tops, I've just got some biscuit dough that I've rolled thin. I'm going to brush them with some egg wash, just a beaten egg. And I'm just going to put some roughly picked thyme on there and a little bit of salt. Those are just going to go right in the oven. So I put the biscuit dough in the oven at about 350 degrees. If you have a convection oven, let the fan be on, you get a nicer color. That takes about 12-14 minutes to bake. Okay, so our tops are baked. The basis of the pot pie is ready, and like we spoke about earlier, I like to add a few things at the end. It's just an assortment of all kind of fresh herbs, just roughly chopped at the end, give off their flavor. And I like to add some peas, a few peas, a couple of sauteed mushroom, and a couple of the pearl onions, because they don't need that long cooking time, and I want them to still taste like what I want them to taste like versus just being part of the whole. That's going to get a decent amount of fresh black pepper. Okay, we're ready to go to the plate. So you see, this is not a goopy, gluey sort of dish. This is much lighter. All that same flavor is there, and all the richness of all that chicken stays in this one pot. And we'll take one of our tops, just set it on top a little bit. And there is our version at Lincoln Center Kitchen of the chicken pot pie.